Yo, what's good, gamers? What's good? My name is Dr. Ryan Terao, PsychSensei, and welcome to the first ever Tilt Clinic. That's right, PsychSensei's here to open the Tilt Clinic so you can bring all things Tilt related. We'll talk about the causes, some solutions, maybe we'll talk about your friend's tilt, or maybe even your own tilt. But before we jump into all of that, if you want to learn more about me, what I can do with you, some resources, all the socials, please visit my website, PsychSensei.com. There you can find everything I do. You can find that I've updated things. Now when you fill out that free consultation form, you can select a day and a time. I've updated my bio with all the teams that I've worked with. I even put in some of the things that we can do together if you're a part of an organization or you're a coach or whatever. So check out my website, PsychSensei.com. Also, you can please follow me on Twitter at @ThePsychSensei. I also updated all my profiles to have the same exact profile picture, so you'll see my lovely face in like orange or yellow or whatever. It's pretty sweet. And yeah, if you also want to come and hang out, you can hang out in my Discord. What's up, Rainbow Meowie? That Rainbow Meowie and I will have to be fixing later. Yes, I saw your messages and I will get back to you. I'm sorry, I was really busy today. So if you want to come into my Discord, you can actually hop inside of the Tilt Clinic in the FOMO Dojo right now, and you and I can have a conversation live on my Twitch channel if you want. Other ways you can catch this, if you're not seeing this right now, is you can join my Twitter Spaces to listen. And yeah, if you have any questions about Tilt or whatever, bring them up. I hope you're doing well. Today has been interesting day for sure, especially an interesting day in esports. That and there's the winter storm in Flagstaff right now, and it has not stopped snowing since the morning, and I am sick and tired of shoveling snow. But this is also a clinic for myself because I did play a couple of games today and I was tilted. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, please get me out of this game. I don't want to be here anymore. And it wasn't a good look for an esports psychologist. So much on Twitter. I know. Twitter is freaking insane right now. Like, esports is in an interesting spot right now. I think the most scary thing about esports is the instability of the entire thing. You know, some days it looks like it's popping off and everything is great, and the next day everyone's getting fired, literally. And hopefully I still will have a job. That is my goal. I would still want one. Whoa, what's up? Sanguine, well, let me tell you what happened in my games today. I was playing my favorite game, and it was just not going well. People were running it down. I was getting really irritated at some people playing certain characters because they didn't know how to play them, and I just wanted to choke them. And I literally was like, you know what, just get in my backpack, I'll carry. We won the game, and I was like, I'm done. I don't want to touch this game for a little bit. Redel, what's going on in esports? Yeah, the biggest news in esports right now is that the guard basically let go everybody on staff. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check it out on the Twitters. It's pretty much everywhere. So some orgs may be ending if no buyer, more layoffs, some articles about some other things. Yeah, that was the craziest thing. Not only did the guard have the Valorant team, but also their Call of Duty team and their Overwatch team, and there are some articles being released about what's happening with some of those teams, which is really shitty and sad, and my heart goes out to everyone at the guard that was, you know, let go. Everyone that I met there, they were amazing people, so talented, so friendly, and I really hope that, you know, everyone at the guard lands on their feet, because like I said, they're amazing people. What's up, Purple? Yeah, it's Peppo sad for sure. It's been really rough. But yeah, well, this topic is not Porn Party, not at all. Woo! Thank you for the follow, Sanguine. I appreciate it. Okay. So, well, I guess we can continue this topic later as this stream continues. It's unfortunate, but the valuation of teams is rough. Teams have to find interesting ways to bring in revenue. Yeah, I mean, this wasn't exactly where we were going to go, but, like, I'm down to have this conversation. Like, I think it's what's really interesting in esports and things like compared to like traditional sports, right? Is that like basketball will never go away, or baseball will never go away, or football, or soccer, or football, if you know what I mean. No one ever go away because, like, nobody owns soccer. Nobody owns basketball. Sure, there's, like, the NBA, the National Basketball League, but I mean, like, nobody owns basketball. Like, all you really need to play basketball is, like, a ball, a net somewhere, and some people. Or even, not even people, it's by yourself. And you can play basketball. There's no nerfs or buffs. There's no one that owns it that says, like, okay, only certain people can play basketball, or only certain people can play baseball. Like, nah, anyone can play it. And I think it's really interesting. We're in esports where, you know, if the game isn't fun, or people stop playing, or maybe people, the company doesn't want to lease out their IP, Super Smash Brothers, like, a whole scene can get destroyed, you know, or RIP 2018, here's the storm. Like, you can literally say, like, this is not profitable anymore, and just cut the leagues, and now you don't have that sport anymore, which I think is, like, super shitty, because, like, people love esports and they love their game, and, like, it's really hard to see the thing that you love slowly die or taken away, you know, just because of, like, money or IP stuff or whatever. The owner of the guard is only worth literally 12.9 billion. I know, right? Like, and they have so many other, like, investments and stuff like that. It's really interesting how they're just like, nope, and then it's like yeeted the entire, like, thing. It's super shitty. Yeah, I really am interested to see, like, where esports goes, or, like, other ways people make money through esports besides, like, content and apparel and, like, actually winning and stuff. But I think it's really sad. I think it's really sad just for the entire scene. And I don't know if this is, like, hard times for everybody, because I know, like, a couple months ago it was the 100T let goes, and then before that it was another org was letting go a lot of people. So I don't know if this is, like, the esports bubble going boom. Oh, what's up, kitty? Or I don't know where it's all going, you know? But all I know is that it's scary, and it's shitty, and it's sad. And that is the perfect segue into Tilt. Oh my god, the transitions. You can't make this shit up. You remember to turn on the Twitter Spaces mic today? Yes, I did. Thank you for popping in. That actually was tilting me too. I was, like, literally, like, that's, like, the 5th time I had to start the Twitter Spaces, and I was like, okay, work. And I'm literally pushing the button, like, literally pushing the mic button on, and it was not coming on, and I was, like, wanting to shake my phone. In fact, I did check my phone, but and I'm thinking the shaking is what actually turned the microphone on. Creator-backed orgs probably going to keep growing. I hope so. I hope so. Moist Esports and Disguised Toast Esports, I really hope they thrive, because gaming creators can make them out of passion and don't care as much as making a ton of money. You know, I saw another thing that said, like, oh, franchising was, like, the worst thing to happen to, like, esports. Honestly, what would be more fun is, you know, if you want to talk about, you know, your friend's Tilt, or if you have questions about Tilt in general, I'm just here to break down my understanding of Tilt, what I know, how it affects you, and maybe some things that you can do to not tilt, or not tilt so hard, or make sure that if you do tilt, that you can regain, you can recenter yourself, and you can keep pushing forward. My friend Purple has much tilt. Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm sure. I'd be very scared, because I feel like Purple is a very controlled individual, and then when the tilt comes out, that's when people actually die. That's what I'm scared of. Okay, so let's talk about it. It's Tilt. It's our friend. We have a great relationship with it. Everything is awesome with Tilt. So, what is Tilt? Let's start with that question. Let's define our terms. What is Tilt? All Tilt is, very simply, is when the emotions get in the way. These can be positive emotions, and these can be negative emotions. And weird and oddly enough, you'll probably be like, okay, I knew that negative one. Like, I knew when I'm getting, like, angry, I get upset, irritated, frustrated. What are some emotions that you feel when you're tilted? Impatient. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna put ambivalent over here. We can talk about that special one. Ooh, okay, I like that one. Mad Sag. Yup. Okay. Impatient. These are all great. Okay. Angry, upset, frustrated, irritated, Mad Sag, impatient. Yes, all of these emotions are negative and they impede your functioning in the game. These are all called like cause tilt or a part of tilt or maybe a symptom of your tilt. But here's the other thing that we often don't think about. Positive emotions can also get in the way that cause us to tilt. For example, anyone who ever feel like too confident, like this game is going to be so easy. We should roll these fools. Like they're not even on our same level. And then you have that moment of hubris and then you don't think about stuff and then you start getting smashed. You're like, wait, why are these shitty people smashing me? I'm supposed to be doing this to them. And then now you're no longer thinking about the thing you need to be thinking about. And now you're thinking about, oh noes. And now you're tilted. Too happy. Anyone having a game where they're just like, woohoo, this is all fun. And you're just like hanging out with your friends, you're having a good time. And like, you're just like too happy. And because you're too happy, you're not paying attention. And because you're not paying attention, your emotions get in the way. And now you're tilted because things happen that you weren't expecting or you weren't thinking that they should happen. So again, too happy, too confident. So the reason why I want to put out not only the negative feelings, but I also want to talk about the positive feelings that cause us stronger emotions that get in the way of us thinking that causes us to tilt. So it's not, when people think about tilt, they typically really think about the negative stuff. And I mean, why, you know, it makes sense. It's the first thing that comes to mind. You want to smash things, right? You want to do things to people. And you want to be angry and upset or mad sag, right? All these things. But also, I want to emphasize that it's not just the negative feelings that can get in the way that can cause you to tilt. It can also be positive feelings that are too strong. When you're too relaxed, too happy, too confident, too chill, like all these things can also cause you to tilt. And for you out there too in the chat, are there other positive emotions that you've experienced that cause you to maybe go on autopilot, that cause you not to pay attention, that cause you to be distracted, that like help you tilt more? That's weird. Like positive emotion helping tilt, you know what I mean? Like they make you more dangerous to tilt, or more dangerous to tilt? Oh my god, words today. They're more inclined for you to tilt. That's the word. Okay. The other thing, though, we're talking about positive and negative emotions, but also, I want to highlight this one. Ambivalent. Like you don't care. Like the lack thereof feelings. Sometimes you might be on autopilot. You might not care. Whatever. Please get me out of this game. Let's go next. GG. Please. I'm done. FF. Go next. Right? Ambivalence is also a precursor to tilt. So it's interesting how you can feel positive things, you can feel negative things, or at the same time, you can feel nothing. You can feel nothing. You can feel a lack thereof emotions, and this can also cause you to tilt because if you're on autopilot, you're not thinking. If you don't care, you're not caring to think or win the game or try to do your best, and then you can tilt. So all of these things, the emotions that get in the way, or I almost used the wrong there, or the lack thereof emotions can increase the possibility of you tilting. And I'm just curious, like, have you guys experienced this ambivalent feeling of like, whatever, I'm not getting the cards that I want in TFT, I'm not winning the team fights, this game is a doomer? Like, have anyone experienced the ambivalent or the positive parts that increase the emotions or decrease the emotions that cause you to tilt? I'm just curious, because it happens to me too. Like, I guess this is like, when you think about tilting, you might think of this as like the quiet tilt. And this is more of like, when you think about these things, like, I think what's harder when dealing with people who are tilting, I honestly would rather have this tilt here. I would rather have the negative, ragey, loud, they want to hit stuff. Like, I'd rather deal with this kind of tilt. And the reason why I'd rather deal with this loud, ragey tilt is at least A, I understand where this person is. They're upset, they're angry, they're frustrated, they want to hit something, mad, sad, they're hurt, you know, I can deal with that. And like, when you have these more like ragey, negative emotions that are coming out, essentially, if you want to think about it, yeah, it happens with the ambivalent and the positive too, but it's just more pronounced where this person's frontal lobes have literally gotten hijacked by the amygdala or the heightened emotions of the game. And it's easier, I think, to walk someone down and calm someone down to help them refocus when they're in this ragey, angry state of being than if they're like quiet and shutting down. I think that's really hard. I'd rather deal with the loud ragey tilt because it's clear to me that they're still trying / want to win. That's a really good point, Sanguine. That's a really good point because like, we're going places tonight. Okay, it's difficult when you feel like your team has given up. Absolutely. You know, some loud rages just loudly rage while running it down. At least from what I've seen on other streams. Yo, stop talking about Dr. Jordan's side like that, bro. He tries so hard with Swain. Okay, he's doing his best. But onto your point, like Sanguine, like. Maybe, I think this is a good place to have some like causes of tilt. First and foremost, when I think about someone that's tilted, the number one reason is because they care, right? Like if you're tilted, you probably care about how the game is going. You probably care about how you're performing, how your team is performing. You're maybe worried about the outcome of the game. You're concerned for it. And the only reason why is because you care. Because just think if you didn't care, you would probably be here. Whatever, it's a doomer. I don't really care. Get me out. Okay, I'm done. Okay, let's do something else. You know, like that's what you're thinking. If you don't care, you probably would never get tilted because why would you? It's no big fucking deal, right? I've never seen him stop trying. Absolutely. I actually met the randos he cues into. Lol. True. He does never stop trying. Dr. Jordan Sai, shout out to you, bro. Like, you definitely, no matter how frustrating the game is, like, you keep going, and I appreciate that. You know? So, when you think of tilt, and like you're saying, Sanguine, like, if they're doing this, you know, maybe they're negatively expressing all the stuff that's going on in their head because they're worried about the rank or whatever, and they're trying. Hopefully that's true. I mean, I've also seen what Rainbow's saying when people are just like negative and raging and like being upset for no good reason, and then they stop trying and then they turn the rage onto their teammates, which is not productive at all. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh my god, I can't believe you're running it down. You're such a troll. Blah 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 blah. You suck. And then like they just start not trying harder, or they start running it down and dying, you know, like, so that could be. I mean, what we're talking about now is the experience of what you're feeling here, and then, you know, what do you do with it, you know, behavior wise. We're just separating the emotional experience of tilt and then the behaviors of tilt. But for now, we're just talking about the feelings and the experience of it, and you know how fun it is. You know, that's where we're focusing right now. So we got this ambivalence part too. Why I think it's harder to deal with quiet tilters or people who are disengaging. Maybe they're shutting down. Maybe they're withdrawing from the game or from their team or from what's happening. Why I think it's harder is because, at least with this one, with someone being ragey, I know where they stand. I know where they're at. I know what they're thinking. But with ambivalent, quiet tilters, it's harder. I can't make you talk. I can't make you say what's on your mind. I can't make you or force you to let me into your world. Because oftentimes when people are quietly tilting and shutting down, they don't want to talk anymore. They don't want to, share. They don't want to bother others, maybe. Maybe they want to ruin the atmosphere. Maybe they don't want to bring the team down because they're sad. But at the same time, why it's hard is like, if you're quietly tilting and you're trying to avoid bringing the team down, the vibes down, or whatever, spoiler alert, your team notices. Especially if you are like a loud voice in your team, especially if you're like someone who helps lead the team. If you start shutting down, that quietness or silence now becomes deafening. And when people are noticing that you are shutting down, withdrawing, being quiet, now they understand that you're tilted, and now they're thinking about it too. And so even though you didn't want to bring the team vibe down, once that happens and people can read that, unlucky, now you actually start bringing the vibe down. It's interesting. Most of the time too, when I'm working with players or people in general, like, it's so funny how like fear of what people don't want to happen. For example, like, I don't want to bring the vibe down, but because I don't want to bring the vibe down, I'm going to be quiet. I'm trying to not to care or whatever. I'm trying to keep this inside. And by doing so, they actually bring the team atmosphere down. So it's so funny that oftentimes the thing that we're afraid of doing, we do behaviors, or we engage in behaviors that we're trying to not do that thing, but because we're trying to avoid doing that thing, we actually make that thing happen. So it's really interesting how oftentimes, because we're afraid of stuff, it makes us respond in a way that actually makes our fears come true. But oftentimes it's because we don't want to engage with this fear and we want to avoid it. For example, I don't want it to be awkward. I don't want to be upset with my teammates because I don't want to ruin the relationships. But because we don't want to engage in conflict or hard discussions or share with people what's on our minds, that we actually cause conflict because maybe we keep it all inside until we can't freaking take it anymore. Somebody griefs or makes a mistake, and then it's boom, I can't believe this is happening. Why would you be doing these things? I thought we went over this before, and now it's bad. Funny, huh? Okay, so when I think about tilt and the causes of tilt, I think because, people care. People are worried. People are fearful. They want something. Or I don't know, when you tilt, why do you tilt? Because when I think about why I'm tilting, one, okay, fine, it's because I want to win, right? I care. I want to win. I want to, like, smash my opponents. Or sometimes I feel like others are actively trying to impede me from my goals. Others are trying to actively impede me from my goals. They're trying to get in my way. Maybe teammates, maybe opponents, maybe the freaking game with glitches and bugs, that you're trying to stop me from doing the thing I want to do, and that irritates me. Because why, if you're on my team, especially, why are you trying to stop me? I understand, like, if there's bugs or whatever, or there's, like, the opponents are doing some cheesy shit and it's getting in my way, fine. But for me, for my teammates, why are you getting in with the way of my goals of climbing? Why are you getting in the way of our goal of winning this game? That's irritating to me. Sometimes I mute comms because I want to prevent myself from getting more tilted. I have an old mindset of, this game is unsavable. I should just move on quickly and focus on the next one. I mean, honestly, I think that's a good idea. Like, for me, when I play sometimes and I'm really trying to focus or whatever, I'll turn comms off for myself because, I mean, people often say when I tell people this, like, oh yeah, I just turned comms off, or maybe you should, like, think about turning comms off. They go, what do you mean? Why would I turn comms off? Comms are so important to win this game because it's like a communication collaborative game. And then I asked them, okay, if that's true in your ranked games, and in ranked games, we all think, maybe, hopefully, we all have similar goals to win the game, but sometimes people don't have that same goal in mind, and other times, like, people just want to have a good time and, like, have fun, or, like, maybe other people's definitions of fun is different than your definition of fun, or how to have fun, maybe that definition is different, or even the definition of winning is different. You think it's winning the game, maybe their definition of winning is tilting you off the face of the earth, you know? Like, we all go with the assumption that that's what is supposed to be happening, but it's not always true. You know what I mean? So when I say like, oh, you should turn off all chat, they're like, why should I? Like, people, I need the information. They're gonna talk to me. And then my question back to them is often like, okay, well, if that's true, how many games or how many times have you been in like a game and you've actually talked to somebody and you're like, wow, this person actually said the most insightful thing ever, or wow, that was super helpful. I'm so glad this person called me dog water because that's exactly what I need to hear to be motivated to not be dog water. You know, like maybe 1 in 10 times, right? Maybe it's 1 in 10 times someone comes and tells you it's like something amazing, or they give you a nice compliment or something. But the 9 out of 10 times when like people just like flame you for no reason, or they say dumb shit, or like they say things to cut you down instead of building you up, like, is it really worth it? You know what I mean? Like, is it really worth it? Like to make your mental go boom with all chat, you know? So that's my take on it. You know, like if you're really trying to climb, or you're really trying to like focus, then oftentimes all chat isn't, or voice chat isn't the way. But I mean, at the same time, if you're playing with like people that are chill, that actually want to help you and coach you or whatever, then yeah, chatting is important, you know? So I think it's important to understand the context in which you want to have people chat to you, or how many times the chat function has actually helped. And I mean, a very easy way to do that, if you want to do this experiment for yourself, is like, okay, go into a game and like, if chat is on and they say something mean, they say something unproductive, like just take a tally. Whoop, 1. And like, how many tallies were you gonna get before you see a positive comment, you know? And then from there, you can use that science of like, wow, over the last 10 games, 10 times people just like were mean and shut me down, or just assholes. Okay, so maybe, you know, you can expand that to like 30 games or 50 games or whatever, until you have a nice set of data to say like, okay, I actually now know for a fact that like all chat is helpful, or like, I have a 90% rating that all chat, they just make fun of me and that's not good for me, you know? So that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. And I think the old mindset of this game is unsavable, I think that is such a common mindset with gamers. Okay, we can go mindsets. This is great. I love it. Sometimes I have this mindset too. What is it? This game, maybe I just copy it. This game is unsavable. I should just move on and focus on the next one. I used to hate this mindset, you know? And I really do think, I've heard mixed reviews on this mindset of like, this game's a doomer, GG, let's just move to next, you know? And like, it really depends. It really depends on when you use this mindset. I'm not saying that this mindset is bad or it's terrible, because I think each mindset has its own utility. It just depends in what context are you using that mindset. And does the mindset fit the moment? For example, like fighting. Okay, like I'm talking like fist fighting, like fisticuffs, UFC action. You know, like, is fighting bad? No, fighting's not bad. You know, sometimes it's really helpful. What matters though is where you're fighting, when you're fighting, who you fighting. You know, in the like, you have to understand the context in which the fight is happening. For example, if you're having a fight in a ring, there's a referee, you're fighting for your life, okay, fine. You know, you're being threatened and you're defending yourself, fine. I guess in some contexts, if you're attacking somebody, like, I guess that could be fine. But again, what is the context in which you're fighting? You know, if you're fighting not your friends, your family, like we fight other people, enemies, competition, opposition, okay, fine. But again, if we're fighting the wrong people, the wrong place, in the wrong context, fighting is bad. Just like this mindset, right? This game is unsavable. I should move on and focus on the next game. Okay. This mindset could be helpful if, for example, you're playing a scrim and the game is so far gone already. There's nothing I can gain from this scrim. We're just getting rolled. Okay, fine. To save my mental, so I can focus on the next scrim and I can actually try to learn something. I'm just gonna check out, whatever, it's over, right? Or if this mindset could be bad if this is like your promotion match, this is an important match in a tournament, is a BO1, like this mindset might be bad, right? And why this mindset might be bad is because if the game is actually unsavable, okay, the next question for you is, okay, what can I do to either make this game go longer, to get closer to my new win condition? How can I force a mistake in my enemies? Like, that's a mindset you can shift into, ask yourself if there's something on the line, right? So I think I wouldn't judge myself in you saying this mindset is terrible. This mindset is only terrible if we put it in the wrong place and in the wrong context. The most tilted I get is front lines in Final Fantasy, was that 9? 9. No? 14? I don't know. 10. No, 14. Nailed it. But I never expressed it in game. Just out loud, but not ragey. I also never stop trying. XD, sometimes it works out because there'll be enough of us doing the same. XD, but a 3-team weird fest. Yes. You know, I think going back to this negative or ambivalent, I think another way that you can categorize this, it kind of goes with ambivalence, okay? But we'll take it here. Another thing that you bring up, Rainbow, that I think is really cool is not only the emotional part of it, or the type of emotion, positive, negative, or ambivalent, but also the direction of it, okay? So we kind of talked about this with Sanguine earlier, about like people just being overt and angry and like, but we can talk about direct tilt, where someone is directing their tilt at something, someone, or no, I think that's it. Like something or someone, right? You are dog shit. This game fucking sucks. Like, I hate everyone. Everyone sucks. You should be doing this differently. But then you got indirect. Indirect is really interesting, and I guess you could call this passive aggressive. And maybe you keep it inside. Maybe you make side comments like, wow, this game would have been so much easier if somebody just didn't die, you know, or wow, that was a really good idea, but somebody made a mistake. You know, if that person just didn't make the mistake, or they just played their part, we would have won the game. But, you know, whatever, it's GG's, it's okay. Which, I don't know. Me personally, if you're gonna say something, say it to my face. You know, like if you're gonna say something to a team, or if you're gonna be tilted or upset, come out and say it, because at least that way we have something to talk about, right? But then if someone is indirect or passive aggressive, I'm not calling you out, Rainbow, I'm just saying in general, like it's just harder, because like if they say, oh, we played a good game, but if somebody, okay, who's that somebody? And we need to know who the somebody is, so we can tell the somebody what they need to do better, so they don't do that in the future. Thus, you don't get tilted too at them for making the same mistake. So let's get out here and just talk directly to each other. And I think that's something, you know, when working with teams, that's something definitely that I've seen, is the indirect, passive-aggressive, ambivalent tilt that really kills teams. Because at least if we are using direct negative tilt or anger, okay, at least we have something to fight about. At least we have something to talk about. At least we have skills we can use to like bring that down. But sometimes when it's indirect or ambivalent, it's hard, because people may not want to directly say what they need to say, because they're scared, because, you know, they don't want to be the asshole or the bad guy. But because they don't want to be doing that or saying it or doing the conflict, then it gets more messy, because now no one knows what we're talking about. We're not using clear communication. On a 5-man team, everybody knows who they meant by somebody. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but if somebody just didn't fuck up or didn't do that mistake, that somebody would know, right? Woo! That's so good. That's so good. That's so true. It happens all the time. The most interesting thing too about tilt and the mindset of tilt is that it kind of reminds me of like a panic attack. Has anyone in the chat experienced a panic attack? I have, and it's not fun at all. If you've ever experienced a panic attack, like what it feels like is it feels like you're literally going to die. Like you're hyperventilating. It feels like you can't breathe. Like you feel like your thoughts are racing. You feel like either tired or is like your body's going to complete fight or flight. So you may have like a lot of energy, but you don't know what to do with it. Or you feel like you have no energy. You don't know what to do because you can't do anything, but things are moving really fast. And that's why like when they give you like a paper bag, so someone's having a panic attack, the reason why you want to use that paper bag is because it actually visualizes your breath. So it's easier for you to see it so you can slow your breath down. And by slowing your breath down, you're slowing your body down. By slowing your body down, you're slowing your mind down and your thoughts down. So that's why they give people who are experiencing panic attack or hyperventilating a paper bag. Another really interesting thing about panic attacks, fun side fact, is that they probably can only last around 20 minutes. The reason why they can only last like a short period of time is because if it lasted longer, you would just pass the fuck out. Because they're very physically taxing. So for someone to panic for more than 20 minutes, it's a very physically draining activity. So they would just be really tired, or you would be really, really tired, you know? And so that's a fun fact. So with a panic attack, what they tell you to do when you're experiencing a panic attack is, one, don't fight it, right? Kind of like we talked about yesterday and surfing and drowning or feeling you're going to drown. Like the worst thing you can do is panic and fight and try to like, I guess the word is fight. I don't know. I guess like to resist the experience of what is happening. Instead, what they tell you is that if you're experiencing a panic attack, the best thing to do is just let yourself experience it. You know, let that, you know, with the wave and water metaphor, you know, you're just going to go with it and you're just going to let it crash over you. It's kind of like trying to hold in a sneeze and how bad it is. Like when you're trying to hold it in, all you want to do is sneeze, you know, instead of just like, achoo, and then it goes away. It's the same thing with a panic attack. I was going to ask this at the end, but since we're on this topic now, will there be versions of the clinic but for anxiety? Or maybe we have done it and there's a VOD somewhere. I think, Sanguine, you have just come up with a new show. I haven't done one for anxiety, but that would be a very interesting topic, huh? Maybe I should just call this The Clinic. And like we'll have a different topic every week for clinic. You know, we can have a tilt clinic, we can have an anxiety clinic, we can have a I want to kill my teammates clinic. You know, like that's a good idea. You know, but no, we have no anxiety clinic. This was actually the first inaugural clinic discussion. So, you know, I'm super stoked that you brought that idea up. That's a great idea, the clinic, right? I was trying to think of a catchy name, but I couldn't come up with one. So maybe I just shortened this to the clinic. Oh, is it always Tilt Clinic? I thought there was a new topic each week. This is my first stream. Welcome. Well, so, I have 3 shows that I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to do, you know, some market research to see what the most popular show is. The first show that I have that is on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. PST is called Office Hours. And basically in Office Hours, I come up with something that's cool or I've been thinking about, and I just talk about it for about an hour, and people can come in and talk, and like they can follow Bouncing Ball or my ADHD, which is very hard to follow. And then on Wednesdays, what I like to do is it's called Reading with Ryan, and I read articles, academic articles, and I apply, you know, whatever I find on the article to gamers to help them improve their gaming, or I just think about, you know, what I would do with my players or how I'd use this article, this information to help them play better or myself play better. And then on Thursdays, I have the clinic. And I was strictly gonna keep this to Tilt because I thought that'd be a very popular clinic topic. But now that you brought up anxiety, I having to think about that, I think it'd be really cool just to, you know, have an open topic. So if you want to throw me other ideas, keep putting them in the chat, or if you want to jump into my Discord and you know, give me more ideas about what you want to do for this clinic, definitely have it. Yes, I will be uploading these VODs. That is part of my crazy content push that I'll be doing soon. So yes, be on the lookout. I definitely have a bunch of these VODs up, or there will be more up. Thank you for posting that, Rainbow. Yes, you can find me on YouTube at PsychSensei, and there will be some clips there, or at the PsychSensei. Oh, sorry, my gosh. PsychSensei.com, my website, and you can find all my socials there too. There may be some slice of life stuff coming up, but you'll see. But yes, love that idea. Thank you. Thank you, Rainbow. Okay. All right, so going back to panic attacks and stuff, which relates kind of to anxiety too. You know, so number one, why I think tilt is related to panic attacks is because let's have a nice little fun little thing in the chat. Like, okay, what do you think, people in the chat, is like the number one cause if you had a panic attack to have another panic attack? Awesome. Definitely plan to continue tuning. Hell yes. Please come back, Sanguine. For sure. For sure. So if you had a panic attack before and you understand, what it feels like, what do you think is the number one thing that causes a panic attack? Think about it. The number one thing for panic attacks that makes another panic attack more likely to happen is, you guessed it, the fear of having a panic attack. That's right. Once you've had a panic attack, boom, very good. Remembering and fearing the previous panic attack, worried I might enter it again, especially when I'm in public. Very good. Bro, first time tuning in and you're fucking crushing it. All right, absolutely. So the number one reason or number one thing that causes, the next panic attack is the fear of having a panic attack. And yeah, worried that it might happen in public again because it's freaking scary. And like I said, you feel like you're going to die. And so if you're afraid that that's going to happen, you're going to have that another experience and you think it's going to happen again. So typically, like, if you start breathing hard, oh my God, I'm hyperventilating. It's happening again. Oh my God, my thoughts are racing. Oh my God, I remember this last time this happened, and now you're on the fetal position on the floor having a panic attack. But it wasn't the actual event that caused you to have the panic attack. It was the recognition of the somatic and the cognitive symptoms that you were having that makes you think you're having a panic attack, that causes you to fear having a panic attack, that makes you panic, and thus the attack comes. You also need to poke the thing that pushes to 1 HP. It also just push the stream. No, yeah, I just did that. That's why. Because I didn't see that it showed up. Rough. But alas, is my life. So, why that's related to tilt is because sometimes the thing that causes people to tilt is the thought that they're tilting or that they're going to tilt. Oh man, I'm so upset. Oh my God, am I tilted? Oh, I'm tilted. Oh, it's happening again. Oh my God, now my game is suffering because I'm tilted. And I remember every time this happens, I get distracted or I'm so upset or I just like check out of my brain because I'm so tilted. Or, oh my God, am I checking out? Okay, I'm checked out. I guess I'm tilted. Well, it's over. GG's. So in the same way, panic attack happens. The same can happen with tilt. It seems ass backwards, doesn't it? That tilt can trigger more tilt. Or just a recognition that you're tilted, and if you don't do anything helpful to help switch your mindset or catch yourself in that awareness to try to do something else or think about something else or focus on something else, you're just going to go back into that tilt spiral. Weird, isn't it? So, let's talk a little bit about how not to tilt. First and foremost, how not to tilt. Number one. Thanks, human brain, for remembering negative events even better than positive ones. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? And I think it's funny because, like, I guess it's trying to keep you alive. Because, like, if you remember the bad things that's happened, then you won't do them again. But at the same time, to learn, you learn better with positive reinforcement. I don't understand that at all. It's like ass backwards. Like, you're hardwired to remember shitty things, but the best way that you remember things is through reinforcement, which is positive. Like, the human brain makes a lot of sense, but then again, it makes no sense at all. For real, do you get the thing where do you get the thing where something good happens, but the next day something bad happens, and then your brain only properly writes the bad one? Bro, Facts. This was actually an article about it years ago in a science magazine. Yeah, you know, to that point too, have you ever heard the term or the expression how it ended, how it ended was how it was? When I heard this statement of how it ended was how it was, because people often remember how things end, and then however it ended was how it colors their entire experience. For example, ex-girlfriends or boyfriends. For example, ex-girlfriends or boyfriends where like you could have had like, for the most part, a really good relationship, but inevitably the last, you know, I don't know, year, 6 months, or whenever it starts going boom, like it could be bad, like really bad. And like you could have grew as a person, and you could have had these really great experiences, and you could have learned a bunch of stuff with this person. But just because the breakup was terrible, last 2-3 months, the year or whatever was terrible, and it ended terrible, now everything that you remember about that relationship was chalked. It's terrible, right? Or could you be having like, on the flip side, think of like a really tilting, terrible game. Everything is just going wrong. People are just like griefing. People are chatting. Like, it's just like, get me out of this game. You know, this game is Unsavable. Let's just focus and move on to the next one. You know, that kind of game. But then, like, in one last team fight, in one last turn of events, maybe if you're playing Valorant, like 8 rounds are crazy, or like you finally get those cards you needed in TFT, and like you win the game, or like you smash, or like you carry everybody over the finish line and it's a dub, and you're like, woo, that was insane. It ended so well. That means it was great. You know, it's so funny because like it may have not actually been great, but because how it ended, that recency bias, that's how it was, you know? So it's just really interesting. I bring up these stories and these points to like just highlight that your brain will play tricks on you, and it's really weird. This is the part of why I take so many pics during nice moments, and of your food. That looks fucking bomb, so keep doing that. Yeah, I do. Most notably when I decide whether or not to queue up, and my brain is plagued with only negative experiences from yesterday, not the positive ones. Absolutely. Happens to me too. So let's think about how not to tilt. Number 1, know your triggers. Know what makes you tilt. Your experience of tilt. Is it the positive feelings? Is it the negative feelings? Is it the ambivalent feelings? Is it the direct things that you're doing or saying, or the indirect things that you're saying? You know, like, know those things that tilt you, because the more aware of your triggers, the more aware you can be of when it's happening. Because if you're unaware of when it's happening, and all of a sudden it's kind of like a bad dream, and you wake up and you're just freaking angry and tilted, it's harder to put stops in. It's harder to put different skills or things we can do to decrease your tilt, to help you do something different. So number 1, know your triggers. I guess number 2, so knowing the causes. Is it like teammates not caring? Is it you lost your game and you're losing LP or points? Is it your effort of that you really want to win and you feel like people are getting in your way? Like, it's really important to understand not only the triggers, but also why are you getting tilted? What is the reasons for your tilt? Because you can either do it inside out, outside in, the causes and then the symptoms, or the symptoms and the causes. They're both connected. So whatever is easiest for you to understand or for you to know first, that doesn't matter. Like, you can do one or the other. I had this super mood boosting thing happen a while back, but the next day something opposite happened, which we know which my brain kept. Oh, okay. I think it's important to understand then too. Number three, know what you're focused on. And I think, Rainbow, you bring up a good point where, like, you're in this really awesome mood and everything is great and wonderful, but then something the next day happened and we shifted our focus. Okay? So why it's important to understand, you know, what you're focused on, why you're focused on that thing. Is this thing helping you? It's because the more that we can be active and intentional in choosing which mindsets, which thoughts, which things we really put our attention to, and then we can also actively shift our attention to things that aren't helpful. It's really important to understand, you know, what we're focused on, why we're focusing on those things. Are they bringing us Are they helping us? Are they holding us back? What are we doing? So all these things that I'm talking about with tilt, I'm talking about the longer term things to help your tilt. I'm not talking about like I'm tilted in this game and now I need to finish this game with the best mental ever or that I can salvage. I'm talking about, okay, if you're able to think about these things in a calm, collected state, and when you do reach that game or that like instance or that thing that gets you tilted, you're more able to consciously shift your focus and be intentional in the next thought versus letting your mind run away with the thoughts and then you begin to spiral. Because the number one thing to do if you are tilted at a game, stop and take a break. Okay, like if you are tilted out of your brains or out of this game or whatever, the number one thing that you can do is stop and take a break. Because essentially what has happened is your amygdala, your upsetness, ooh, thank you, whatever is happening, your focus, you are basically trying to work your frontal lobes, your executive functioning skills, in a deficit because your frontal lobes have gotten hijacked by amygdala or some other function or whatever. All right, so how can you operate something that isn't there? And the only way to get your frontal lobes back online is to stop, collect yourself, take a break, get some space away from this thing so you're able to think about it, so you're able to digest it in a new way, to process it in a different way. Because if you don't stop and take this break and you think, all I need to do is win this next game, all I need to do is play this other one and play my best or whatever, already you're starting on the back foot because you're cognitively not there. Or you're tilted kinda, and then it's gonna build. Okay, this next little thing is gonna build. Or you make a small mistake and that's gonna build. Your teammate something and that's gonna build. And then over time, like these small little things build up and now you're full tilted. So the best way to stop, clear your brain, take a break, go get something to eat, go use the bathroom, go change your scenery, anything, so you can reset those frontal lobes, you can focus on the right things, and then you can play again. If you continue to play, my guess is it's not going to go well. Nightbot auto pushes woke up. Let's see if woken with the other 4 commands or still broken. I have to fix it. I think that's something I have to write that on my to-do list for sure. Are you saying to take a break so you can analyze it, or you can take a break so you can think about something new? Honestly, it could be both, or not at all. It could be break to think about nothing. It could be taking a break to give your brain a rest. It could be a break to do this exercise. Why am I so tilted? What am I getting tilted at? Okay, what do I want to do when I do feel this way? What are the mindsets or mental reframes I want to use when I feel this way? Oh my God, my teammate's griefing. Okay, maybe they're not griefing. Maybe they're just a noob and they're trying their best. Or wow, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I just griefed and ran into that thing and just died. Okay, well, maybe I'm just tired. I need to, eat something so I can focus more and not make that mistake again. Whatever you need to do to get yourself back into the focused, intentional mindset of getting what you want out of the game, or getting what you want out of the training session, or focusing on climbing, or whatever you need to. Because if you stay and you continue to play, all this stuff is going to build up. All this stuff is going to get in your way. It's going to hijack your brain, and you're not going to be able to think or focus on the things that you need to win, to not make mistakes, to climb. Man, this was fun. This was definitely fun. Yeah, how did everybody enjoy? I mean, this is just scratching the surface of tilt. I'm following my bouncing ball of craziness of tilt and things like that. I guess I'll move this up here so you can see it. These are the takeaways, not to tilt. Know your triggers, know your causes. What are you focused on? And stop and take a break. Sick. I like it. Okay, that's fun. This was a blast. And I like, thank you, Sanguine, for saying that, or you can have another clinic on anxiety or whatever. Dude, this would actually be a fun topic, or to bounce around in, to have different topics of anxiety, depression, or I put these in quotations, right? I'm not treating, And these are just like the symptoms of this or whatever you want to call depression or sadness or anxiety. These are in quotations, right? These aren't like, I'm not using clinical terms. I'm just saying like a descriptive adjective of what you might be experiencing. So yeah, this was so fun. I hope you guys got a lot of information about, tilt and the causes and some things that could help with the tilt or some of the mindsets that come with tilt, but at the same time understanding that the mindset isn't bad. It's just maybe the wrong place at the wrong time to make it inappropriate, to not fit. But yeah, that's so fun. Okay. So if you enjoyed this, please, join my Discord, follow me on YouTube, Twitter, all of it. And those things can be found at the PsychSensei on Twitter or PsychSensei.com if you want to see all the things that I'm doing. And thank you, Rainbow, for trying to fix the Discord. Or trying to fix the commands. In conclusion, I will need to make sure that my Discord works, and I need to make sure that my Nightbot command works. So I definitely will jump on that, Munyons. Always fun to make sure that everything is running smoothly in the way that I want. Sanguine, thanks for the questions. Rainbow 2, thanks for jumping in. Purple, thanks for joining, and hopefully you won't be mad Sag when you're playing some TFT. ISO, thanks for coming too, and Reddle, welcome back, baby, welcome back. Yeah, this is super fun. I try to fix this Discord too. I definitely will. We definitely will need to go over that for sure. Pouring party, hell yes. So maybe I was actually thinking of streaming a game, but not competitively. I was actually thinking of, oh my god, I got 2 people on the, oh, now 1. What's up, Emir, on the spaces? What's up? I was actually thinking of streaming A Little to the Left. Has anyone heard of this game? Basically, it's a organizing game on the Switch, and it's very relaxing and or overwhelming, especially for me, because sometimes it's all like you have to organize these things, and sometimes it's like a lot of things that are very overwhelming all at once, and so I have to like organize them. But sometimes it's scary because I have ADHD and it's like too much. I wonder if maybe your Nightbox just isn't allowed new commands from mods. Maybe I might have to add my thingy number to Nightbot control or something, or just add all mods. Yeah, I think I have to do that. So I might be streaming that a little bit later. Maybe I'll attach it to one of these streams where I can play A Little to the Left first. Maybe that's a before the clinic. You come in and vibe and play with me, and then we'll start the clinic, or maybe the office hours or whatever as I wait for people to come in. But those are things I want to do. So next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. PST, I will be hosting another office hours, the topics TBD. Wednesday at 6 p.m., we'll be talking about an article with Ryan, Reads with Ryan. And then next week, Thursday, again, I'll be hosting another clinic, the clinic, as we'll call it. We don't call it the Tilt Clinic, we'll just call it the clinic, and we'll cover all kinds of things. Yes, awesome. I'm so excited. Sanguine, please come, please hang out, because if not, it's going to be me talking to myself. But yes, thank you so much for everyone for coming. I really enjoyed everybody. Thank you so much for the follow, Sanguine. Thanks for chatting, also, everyone for coming. Thank you, Amir, for coming in and listening to the clinic, my dude, on Spaces. And one day, I'll get people to come in to the Discord and ask questions live. But until then, don't worry, come to the FOMO Dojo. We can hang out. All right, friends, that's it for me. Thanks you so much for coming and making my night so much better. It's been really depressing on Twitter. So thank you. And as always, my name is Dr. Ryan Terao. You're a PsychSensei, teaching you to think, play, and slay, baby. One day, one clinic, one thought at a time. And I'm here to remind you that stronger mental wins. All right, friends, I'll see you next week. Take it easy, be safe, be warm. Love ya. Mwah. Bye.